Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the fastest challenge. We are playing some Guns of Icarus. Well, casting Guns of Icarus. Once again, I am Imagine, and with me is once more Sir Morty.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
And Sir Morty, we've got an interesting matchup here. We've got
We do.
Sacrilege versus Zill's Merry Men. And these are two teams that really, I think, both feel they should be doing better than their record indicates.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's going to be a lot of pride on the line, but there's going to be a lot of, I think, hard and fast fighting. Not a lot of experimentation today. A lot of get in there, beat each other to a pulp, and then get out.
Yeah, and of course, as you see, they are tied up and standings at 2-2, and it's going to be very hard for either of these teams to get up into the top three, who I believe go on to the gold playoffs,
Hmm.
to actually get there if they do not win today. Going 2-3, going to get rather exceedingly difficult. Going up to 3-2 will make it a lot easier, especially depending on how Cake does today.
Yeah,
But if you go down to 2-3 right now, it's going to be rather hard for you to actually make it up into the top tier playoffs.
yeah. You need one of the other teams on a relatively similar level to you to start really having a bad time of it. Which, looking at the rest of the standings, no one's got anything particularly out of their skill range left to fight, so there's going to be a lot of even matches going forward.
Yep. It's gonna be a tough fight here, of course. Zilla's merry men, Zillless today, as I believe he's away at family. I think he went away for the weekend because of the holiday weekend. So instead, we've got Two Left Socks and Sky Raider being the captains, and we are on Canyon Ambush. Tropo and Cassis Krios head up the Sacrilege team, and Sacrilege is one of those teams which I think a lot of people feel are one of the stronger teams in competitive play today, but. So far they've been having kind of a mediocre time in Hephaestus Challenge. They, I believe, have lost to Cake, and I think they lost to Sky Invading Rhinos the first week, but or maybe in the Riders.
I'm not too sure on that one either myself.
Yeah. Regardless, they are sitting at 2-2. They do definitely want this win, and do know that Merriman and Sacrilege have collided on a few occasions through different tournament stuff. So
Yeah,
this is kind of an old school rematch, if you want to call it that. Not as old school as you can get, but still kind of up there.
yeah, they've played each other a lot. They both know each other's teams very, very well, even just the pub playing with each other as friends. So I could see quite a lot of anticipation. They know what each other's tricks. They know vaguely what each person's strengths are regards to whether or not, say, Left Sox prefers a brawler over a sniper ship, which more accounts than not he prefers a brawler. And for example, Castus Curious is the same roughly, but always has a little bit of a twist in there. So
Yeah,
yeah, go on.
and looking at these ships right now, Skyraider does love his blenderfish, but he's actually taking a
So
watcher
watch a
this time
fish.
around.
Hmm.
Quite interesting there.
Yeah, he's very, very good with the goldfish regardless. Especially up close. If he's going to run a goldfish burst ammo goldfish, you can get as close as you want with that within reason. Probably against two pyramids might not be the best idea in the world unless you're packing a few flamers. Is he? Yes. So he's got a close range, roughly close range build for that. So I could see him. I could see him doing fairly well here.
Yeah, it'll very much depend on how D Maximus does with his watches shooting. It's this type of stuff we see with watches all the time. If you can hit your shot and hit it in the right place, it can be extremely effective. If you knock
Hmm.
out the engine column of a Pyramidion or you knock out the front two guns, that Pyramidion is going to be hurting quite a lot. But if you just, get it in like the side armor and, maybe get like the one of the back guns, it's not going to do a whole lot, and that could spell disaster.
Yeah, it is a little bit difficult to get that full sweep of Hawacha burst to try and get them all the way down the side, starting at the front and going right the way back to the engine. And even if that's the case, you're not going to get the vital components on the far side of the ship. So you need to either commit to the front or to probably the rear of the ship. There's no real
Yep.
flanking maneuver there to be able to be done against a Pyramidion.
Yeah, the worst thing, of course, comes out if you don't hit anything at all. You know, that's just yeah.
Or you
It's,
get
it's
that
such a long reload time on that gun.
oh yeah.
Oh man.
Or you get that strange little loophole where you pretty much hit everything but don't do enough damage to any one particular thing. Like everything's hurt quite a lot but nothing's really broken. That's awful as well.
Yeah, so Watch has always been kind of a gun like that. Very very touch and go. You know, very good if you can connect. Very lackluster if you don't. Looks like we're getting that counter still with the double Pyrus setup. Looks like, huh? That's an interesting Artemis carronade front on the Ares.
Yeah. Maybe it's Artemis Carronade front with...
Oh, right. It's because it's a
Stop.
Hwacha. You want to just use the Artemis to knock it out.
Yeah. I think it's going to be greased rounds just to get as many rockets into that thing as you possibly can.
Oh, and we lost.
Nara's gone. So she's
Oh,
just coming back in now.
okay. All right. Good. Got a couple of minutes still left to go as we get this match underway here. So, you know, this is going to be an extremely important match for both of these teams. We'll see how they end up coming out. Who ends up coming out on top of this and keeps themselves in contention for a top spot, and who's gonna kind of falter down behind. You know, Sacrilege. I think looking at the tipping thread on the forums, I think most people kind of have Sacrilege winning here. So that's it seems like that's the popular opinion currently.
It
But
seems.
there were definitely some votes in there for Merriman as well.
Well, it's not as if we haven't seen Merryman come out and upset the standings massively. They've had at least a few instances over their careers of competitive play where they pulled a victory out of seemingly nowhere or pulled out a couple of fantastic kills to tie the game back up when you thought they were just getting their heads stomped in. I
Yeah.
wouldn't rule out Merryman. I really wouldn't.
Absolutely. And of course, I can't either as I am on the team, but I'm going to be harder on them than most of anybody would. Anyway, on the Merriman team, on the Macbeth, captained by Two Left Socks, we've got a Gatling and Mortar up front with a flamethrower and a mine launcher on the side. And on the Messerschmitt, we've got the Hwacha Fish, captained by Skyder. Hwacha up front with a Gatling on one side and a flamethrower on the other.
Over on the Kamikaze Punk we have flown by Tropo, we have the tried and true, well and tested Meta Pyramidion Gatling mortar front, Flamer flare gun side, just to peer through these clouds and get some good close range balling into the canyons. And we've also got the Ares flown by Caster Curious. Yeah, again, Ares' little unique touches, let's put it this way, of his Artemis and Carronade. It's something that we don't see played very often, even in pub games. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether or not that can be handled very well, and whether or not we'll see that adopted over the next week or so, whether people want to try that out, because I'm interested.
Yeah, I really think that the Ares is here as a counter to Messerschmitt to try to knock that front gun out as much as possible. You know, Artemis is very good at knocking out guns, and heavy guns will take some time to rebuild, and a fish without a working front gun is usually a dead fish.
Yeah, pretty much. So you can just get in alongside or behind him and beat him up, because you only really got to contest with one light gun, and I'm sorry to say, a single light gun isn't very deadly. Not these days.
No. I mean, a flamethrower can do some damage, but you know, with a proper rotation of chem spray, that's not going to do a whole lot. Let's see, do they have some chem spraying going on? Yeah, they definitely got a lot of spraying going on, so they are aware of the potential of flamethrowers in this matchup. And you know, you see flamethrowers in pub matches do a lot better than they do in competitive matches, because pub matches, you know, usually don't get that good chem spray rotation. Regardless, we are getting into some action here, so Macbeth is the first one charging forth here. Those Hwacha shots going in and knocking nothing something out, missing once
Yep.
again, and that is off to a bad start as the Macbeth is getting focused here. Although I think so, it's the Ares that has the Artemis. It looks like
Yes,
that
the Ares has the
Messerschmitt.
Artemis. They're going after the Messerschmitt and doing very, very well.
Yeah,
Look.
Messerschmitt already losing his armor and balloon. Ares giving a little bump, and Messerschmitt's actually going to move along just fine. Kamikaze
Oh.
Punk, however, has lost his armor, and Macbeth is getting the better of this engagement. Will they be able to take him down? And the last few shots
Oh no!
don't connect fine.
Oh, that last mortar shell just missed the target.
Yep, just not able to finish it off. Now a little bit of pointing and a little bit of flamethrowing going on between the Ares and the Messerschmitt. Looks like the Kamikaze Punk is trying to come in and help his teammate take down the Messerschmitt, or maybe just try to escape the Macbeth. Either way, the Ares is going to come chasing after the Macbeth. Kamikaze Punk still very hurt. Armor down on Messerschmitt, gets its few, like 2 watcher shots hitting there, takes out the Kamikaze Punk. And we've got a 1-0 lead for the Merry Men, and they have not lost any permanent hull at all.
No, they haven't. The Messerschmitt did very, very well tying up that one Pyramidion and not getting itself too badly disabled. And the Macbeth was just lethal, just always in the right place at the right time.
Yep, and this is actually bad news here for Sacrilege, especially because Ares is not the kill ship. Oh, and that Hwasha shot almost takes out everything. Ares trying to escape here. Kamikaze Punk gets right back into this action. Messerschmitt trying to focus its Hwasha off, and they will get that armor just down. But Kamikaze Punk has a beat on the Messerschmitt, and Messerschmitt not might survive here. But Ares does get taken out by the Macbeth here. And the Macbeth is going to try to rescue the Messerschmitt here. They are going to get a bump onto Kamikaze Punk, and that will kind of help. Didn't really do too much. Really what more helped there is Kamikaze Punk didn't back up when the Messerschmitt was going under them.
Yeah. They didn't really maneuver that well, unfortunately.
Oh, and they didn't get the Kev's rotation, and everything on that ship is on fire.
Oh no!
Oh,
that's Macbeth again. He's been his typical deadly self.
Yeah, and Merry Men are just absolutely taking it to Sacrilege here. And this is a little bit of surprise to me. I thought Sacrilege was going to do a whole lot better, and Kamikaze Punk goes down. And the Merry Men are just sitting in blue spawn here and just wrecking these ships over and over again so far.
It just seems that the Merry Men just... It might be another one of those games. It might be they weren't the fan favourite, they weren't the poll favourite, but damn, are they going to show everybody wrong? This is going to be brilliant if they carry this on. At the minute, the biggest danger is the Macbeth. If they can somehow eliminate the Macbeth, the Goldfish should go down pretty easily, but the Macbeth's still just ready to go. Just a little spring chicken right there.
Yep, we are getting a little bit of a pause here as one of the members on the Sacrilege team, of course, who was disconnecting earlier as well, looks like they've been having trouble with it. So they are getting a replacement. We are getting into a pause here. Both of the sides here have stopped moving. Of course, that's generally what you do when you pause. Official pause going on now. And the Kamikaze Punk has actually chosen to respawn itself in one of the most curious locations I have ever seen.
It doesn't seem that someone on the Kamikaze Punk got the pause message for the minute. Oh, they seem to stop shooting.
I think it was the AI.
Ah,
yeah, it was the AI.
There you go. That solves that problem. Yeah, that is how could I put it? A mighty odd place to spawn. I mean, obviously they wouldn't know they were there. There are no spots on.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things. Like, what can you actually say here?
You show up, look down, and go, well, this is going to get unpleasant quick.
Yeah, it's the Kamikaze Punk is gonna have a very hard time to stay alive here.
I think that
as soon as the pause gets called,
I think that's going to be one of them ones where no one's going to be on top deck. Nuts to that. Everyone's down below.
Yeah,
I mean, we're just going to run the heck away.
Everyone's kind of just, floating around, but. At this point, like, looking at this, the Merry Men have just got to be licking their lips. It's gone,
oh, no.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is delicious.
Oh, no. I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for Sacrilege at this point in time.
Yeah. Still, to be fair, I don't know why they would choose to spawn there. They know where the area spawn. Why not spawn next to your teammate?
Maybe they assumed that... I don't know. Maybe they assumed that the Merry Men had moved on. Maybe they assumed that they were in a different position to where they were. Especially around this section of the map, you can get confused as to which side of those giant pylons you're on, whether you're on the canyon side or the spawn side. If they were on the canyon side, then understand them spawning there. But it just seems this is going to be a. Well, it could be. It could be. I'm trying to put some spin on this. It could be that Sacrilege are going to use that ship as bait, lure it to their ally, and see which one of them lags behind.
Which I would have
Maybe.
liked a whole lot more if it wasn't for the fact that the Kamikaze Punk is the kill ship in this case.
Yeah, I think that's. I was about to say. I'm hoping that's a thing, but it probably isn't a thing.
All right,
Oh
so
no.
we are getting back into action here. Unpause has been called. Kamikaze Punk getting shot in the back here, and it is an unfortunate situation for them that they're not able to get a replacement, but the show must go
Yeah.
on. Kamikaze Punk getting slapped in the back here. Merry Men
Oh.
chasing this ship, and Armor is still doing quite fine, though. They weren't able to jump on this as soon as they wanted to, and Kamikaze Punk is escaping, and Ares is now coming in, gunning straight for the Messerschmitt. Can the Messerschmitt take out the front guns? They do.
Oh, yes, they
They
do.
do get rammed into the pipe here, but not quite enough damage going on, at least not permanent damage, as Ares is having to rebuild their guns. In the meantime, Macbeth still chasing Kamikaze Punk around. Armor now down, but mortar shots not
Shots
going
just
to
too
connect.
high. Yeah, more shots just too high. It seems. Oh, they're in a bad position. But it does seem that the Kamikaze. Is it the Kamikaze Punk? Hang on, I had the wrong one.
Yeah,
No, the Ares, sorry, has the. Well, had the upper hand on the Messerschmitt.
Yeah, Messerschmitt now getting a nice watcher barrage there. Oh my god, there goes all the engines. I think the front two
Oh,
guns are still up,
no.
but they can't turn that ship. In the meantime, Macbeth and Kamikaze Punk is facing off here. Kamikaze still just trying to back it up. I think they have one of their upper deck guns maybe down, and there goes the armor on the Kamikaze Punk, and
Oh, the
mortar
mortar's missing
shots
again.
once again missing. Come on, guys, you got to do better than that.
That was
Meantime,
some very good maneuvering, though, on behalf of the Kamikaze Punk.
yeah, and Ares and Messerschmitt still hanging around the same time. Kamikaze Punk now losing his armor, getting some return shots, but those mortar shots once again coming in way too late from the Merryman. This is the third time that's happened, and I think it's in a reload cycle when the armor is down.
Yeah, I think they've just got the wrong reload cycle because that armor's up and down very, very
And
quickly.
they're shooting the mortar off now in the middle of, well, the hull is up. This is just not very good gunning here at all by the Merrymen, and now all those mortars miss. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
it seems like the
whittling
game
the
has changed.
Kamikaze Punk down, but gee, this should have been a done deal minutes ago.
Yeah, it seems we've also got still a pretty good duo with the Messerschmitt and the Ares going on. A lot of balloon popping, a lot of disables, start stop action here.
Yeah.
It could be anyone's guess as to who wins out of those two.
Kamikaze Punk finally gets taken down. Messerschmitt, however, getting carinated down into the ground here, and
Oh, didn't get the ram.
that's gonna follow it up by that ram, and that's gonna take the
That's
Messerschmitt
gonna
out.
hurt.
Oh, not quite, but there you go.
There you go.
The second bounce is what takes him out. So Sacrilege will not go shut out this match. Still, they are down 4-1. But Morty, how many
Well-
comebacks from 4-0, 4-1 have you seen?
I've seen some. But with a man down and such a strong team to fight against. I mean, they're both still almost well, exactly at full health now, since they'll be moving to regroup. I don't think we're going to see a comeback here. I'd love for there to be one, at least another 2 kills, but the Merry Men are just too tough. They've got too much health and a fresh respawn to contend with.
Yeah, I would say that this would be a lot easier if, maybe then Macbeth was at like half health, quarter health,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. I think, that would do a lot better for Sacrilege. Of course, being at full health, it's going to be rather difficult, but I have seen too many comebacks from 4-0, 4-1 down to ever call a game in Guns of Icarus. What part of what makes this game so exciting, you always have that potential for a comeback. You catch some ships in the wrong area, you get a nice jump on somebody, and that's all it takes. However, Merrymen getting set up here. They do manage to fly back together. Messerschmitt a little bit ahead of Macbeth here and a bit to the side.
Well, if anyone's gonna go in first, you might as well make it the Messerschmitt. Get a good disable on somebody and let the Macbeth sweep in behind and just
Oh, here
do
comes the
its
flare.
thing.
Messerschmitt lit up, but that means
Oh,
the Kamikaze Punk can be seen as well. Where's the Watcher? There it comes.
oh
Missing
no, the
almost
mesh.
all of it. And once
Yeah.
again, missing it, but the Macbeth is
Oh.
waiting just here. Now, if the Kamikaze Punk maybe had gotten a huge ram off of the Messerschmitt, that would have gone differently, but the Macbeth rising up to face the Kamikaze, however, has his armor still up, and now down, and will... Oh,
Oh,
the Beth
that's
just
better
gets
gunning.
nudged, and that actually throws a lot of those mortars off. Good job by their Ares. Macbeth, in the meantime, getting his balloon taken down, but the Messerschmitt is going to get a beat on the Kamikaze Punk, and there goes a full-on Watcher shot, taking out all the engines, and then Kamikaze Punk's going to be dead in the water for a little while here.
I think even the Messerschmitt might even be trying to chase down. Oh no, he's actually being chased by the Ares. I mistook that event all up entirely.
Yep, now he is going to flip around here. Ares actually flaming the Macbeth a little bit while they're charging on fourth. Macbeth chasing behind Ares. Kamikaze Punk and Ares trying to get down the Messerschmitt. The Messerschmitt is doing okay right now. Kamikaze Punk actually lost his armor, and a little bit of collision between the Ares. This is a complete madness over here right now, as Ares
Oh,
now
there goes
losing
the
his
Ares
armor.
armor.
Messerschmitt does as well, and where are the mortar shots? Here come a few of them.
Oh,
Messerschmitt getting it back up, losing his balloon in the meantime.
Seems that the Messerschmitt is in the worst position
Oh,
of
and
all of them
Messerschmitt
at the
gets
moment.
bounced around over here, and they just might get taken out. Yes, they do.
Oh, well done!
And Macbeth, in the meantime, has chased the Ares too far. You see this happen with Pyramidians all the time. One team just runs out and overshoots their target, but they do get that Gatling going on the Ares. Will they be able to take the armor down? No, they are not. And then Macbeth has to retreat here. 4-2 here now for the Merrymen only. However, both of these Sacrilege teams pretty hurt. Kamikaze Punk running forth with low armor.
Yeah, let's. Oh, are we going to have at least a small comeback here? I'm just so much hoping so. We've got the mortar shots coming in against the Macbeth, falling
And,
short.
Yeah, falling short, and actually, kind of pointless at this point anyway. Ares now getting disabled by the Macbeth, all those front guns down, but the Macbeth is still getting chased by the Kamikaze Punk, and armor now down, and mortars come raining on in, and the Macbeth... Oh, they barely managed to survive here. Kamikaze Punk armor is down. Will any shots connect? No. No, they will not. But Kamikaze Punk not getting disabled from behind. The front two guns are down, and there is a ram coming from that goldfish to finish it off.
Well, that was a nice little scrap at the very end there. That made it very much worth it. I think Merrymen can just hold their heads up high with that one, because that was very, very well played. Sacrilege did very well as well, although an unfortunate spawn and losing someone.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of an
yeah.
unfortunate situation a couple of times there for Sacrilege.
Yeah.
But they definitely, that was a scary moment at the end there. They could have easily turned that around.
Oh, I was so hoping they could have turned that around, but as the old saying goes, the odds were not in their favor, unfortunately.
Yep, so this is going to put Merrymen now at 3-2, and drop Sacrilege to 2-3, and of course, very important match for both of these teams once again.
Indeed. Very, very well done, and a very nice pushback at the end there. Had all of us guessing.
Yeah, it's a scary finish there. Yeah, well, great job by the Merrymen once again. That Hwacha fish ended up working out after all, even though some of the shots were not the greatest. But it does can get a little bit tough to hit with the Hwacha on a consistent basis. They did enough though to win.
Can be. We did see a lot of questionable mortar fire there. It might have been just because of the rapid movement of ships, but a lot of stuff missed, which I was surprised at from both teams. They're normally very good at finishing off what they've started.
Yeah, it was a lot of missed mortars actually. If you take a look at it, and you see a lot of missed shots coming from like Hades, but mortars, when you miss the mortars, it just hurts your very soul. And
Yeah.
kind of how these things go sometimes.
But in the end, very well played and very well done on both sides. That was unfortunate for Sacrilege, I'll say. It was more unfortunate than bad flying.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not much I could have pointed to on Sacrilege's behalf that did them wrong there. A couple of maybe that bad spawn was probably the worst thing they could have done. But in their defense, how would they know they were there?
Yeah, it's still a little bit of a curious spawn there. I think they could have spawned closer to the Ares. And do you get force spawned if you don't spawn in a specific amount of time?
I'm unaware. I've always just hammered at the button as soon as it's ready. I'd imagine that might be the case,
Because
but
that's
couldn't confirm
really
nor
the
deny.
only thing I can think of why that spawn went the way it was. If
Maybe.
otherwise, it's just a curious choice. Regardless, that will do it for our game number 2. Let's see, game number 3 will be coming up at 5:30. So let's change that real quick here. Uh, it will be at 5:30 p.m., which is, let's see, what time is it right now? It will be,
25 minutes.
yeah, in about 25 minutes. So, wow, my clock has stopped. What an interesting conundrum. All right, so
Oh,
come back to us in about 20 minutes or so. Do go and watch Rob and Dan on the other stream. They are casting their second match, I believe. So here is the link for you.
yep.
And yeah, come back to us in just a few minutes. We'll be back with the Art of Warfare against the Bully Boys. So don't go anywhere. Well, maybe except the other stream, but you know, that don't turn our stream off is my point. And do come back to watch our next game. We'll see you then.
See you later.